Okay, let's go. 58. After quick break. 57. After quick breakfast at the station, we took a local train to a small town further inland, where we boarded a bus bound for an even smaller town. Then rode by taxi to a mountain village, so incredibly small. Its only traffic signal was a stop sign. From there we continued on foot. Asphalt turned to gravel and gravel to dirt before finally we came to the end of our journey. Hiro, I don't think anyone lives here anymore. That's a definite possibility. Then, just as I was wondering where the nearest youth hostel was, what was that? I don't know, but I think it came from behind the house. The trail's that way, down the hillside, other side of the creek. Yes, you're hikers, right? You must have strayed from the trails. It's happened before, nothing to be ashamed of. We are not hikers. Not hikers? Then why on earth did you come all the way up? Hiro Sakurai. I'm so sorry, Yamada-san, for barging in like this, for not warning you. Good heavens, it is you. You've grown so much. Since that day we met, I almost didn't recognize you. Please forgive me. Enough apologize. Come inside my house. Stay as long as you like. Why? You can even stay the night if you like. So we went inside and joined Yamada-san for dinner. It wasn't much, just a big bowl of rice and some fish roasted beside the fire. But after the long day's journey, it tasted to me like the finest meal I'd ever had. Hiro told Yamada-san everything, how he and I met, how I came to know he was a deliverer, and how Reika caught on to us and eventually turned us in. Yamada-san listened intently, fascinated, hanging on every word. When Hiro was finished, she nodded. And answered the question he dared not ask. Of course you can stay here with me. In fact, I insist on it. Things are very dangerous for you two right now. Worse even than you probably realized. Still, you came to the right place. You'll be safe here. But Yamada-san, it's not enough for us to be grateful. You must allow us to repay you somehow. Can you fish? I can learn. Well, you better, because if you don't, this little wolf is going to eat us both. This little wolf is going to eat us both out of house and home. As September turned to October, the autumn leaves reached their peak. Hiro and I both tried our hands at fishing. The surrounding mountain streams, and in time became quite good at it. Our remaining hours were devoted to repairing Yamada-san's house. Hiro patched up the roof and replaced the rotting floorboards, while I prepared her tattered window screens and gave the interior of the house a good top-to-bottom cleaning. After several weeks of hammering, sanding, gluing, and varnishing, we could at least say we began to repay Yamada-san's kindness in some small measure. Those days in the mountains were among the happiest I'd ever known. It was as if fleeing Fukuyama had somehow won us a perfect refuge from our enemies, as if we had found the very fantasy world Reika had accused us of living in, the one in which we could do whatever we liked and pretend that we'd never have to face the consequences. And so the weeks passed, the work hardened my muscles each day, the mountain air lulling me to bed each night, both ensuring that I slept more soundly than I ever did back home. Once, though, hours before sunrise, I awoke to the sound of hushed voices. But Yamada-san, how could Akuzu have risen to such heights among the deliverers? Mother Freya sees all. If he is as evil as you say, surely she would have intervened by now. But it is not for me to second-guess Mother Freya's decisions. She answers to a higher authority, one whose ways are a mystery to us all. And besides, I never said Akuzu was evil. He believes he is right, just as I believed he is misguided. He would tell you that the deliverers of my day had become too soft, too apt to rely on instinct rather than reason. This is why he drove me out. Me and others like me. That is why he reaffirmed the importance of the oaths, the blessed rules, the clinical, cool-headed approach that you and your generation were schooled in. But look what he's done. Look at the paralyzing fear that's been instilled in you, the endless questioning of your own impulses. Why it's a wonder you were able to do your job properly at all. Thanks to Akuzu, the deliverers have learned to preserve love at all costs, while utterly forgetting what true love feels like. But you've not forgotten, Hiro. That's why you are with Miki in the face of enormous obstacles, in spite of the cool-hearted detachment they've tried to drill into you. It's love, Hiro. That's what makes you do these things. Don't doubt it for a second. I want to believe that. I want to believe that, Yamada-san. I really do. But how could Enra be wrong about Miki? If Enra says she's never fine, then that's what she is. Hold spirits don't lie, and they never mislead, and they never misread a human's target status. You know that as well as I do. It's troubling. Yes, if Enra says that true love will elude Miki in the end, then on some level it must be so. But that's no reason. To give in, regardless of what lies ahead. You must believe that Miki is meant for you, and you for her. You need to have unquestioning faith in that, Hiro, to be convinced of it in your very heart of hearts. For if either of you begin to doubt it, even for a second, then the elders have already captured you, and all of this has been for nothing. I never did get back to sleep that night. When morning came, I resolved to confront Hiro and make him explain the truth about my target status once and for all. Hiro,